Welcome to Singapore Property Talk Law.
Great to be here.
Before we dive in, if you're finding these overviews useful, please do like this deep dive and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss out on the latest updates.
Definitely worth doing.
So today we're looking at something quite, well, notable in Singapore's new cabinet setup.
Ah, yes, Mr. Ng Chee Meng, the current NTUC Secretary General.
Exactly. He won't be taking up a government position, at least not immediately.
Which is interesting given the history.
Right. So we want to unpack what Prime Minister Wong has said about this and Mr. Ng's own explanation, too.
Yeah, let's try and get a clear picture of what's going on.
Okay, so Prime Minister Wong's announcement, this was what, May 21st?
That's right, May 21st. He clarified that while the labor chief isn't in the cabinet right now...
It's temporary.
Yes, exactly. He stressed it's intended to be temporary, and he talked about the historical context, you know.
The tradition.
The long-standing tradition of having the NTUC Secretary General in cabinet. It's always been seen as, well, crucial for representing workers, right?
Ensures that link between the government and the labor movement. Social stability, economic growth, all that.
Absolutely. It lets the government, keep a finger on the pulse, collaborate on labor issues. PM Wong explicitly said he values that link.
So it sounds like he really wanted to emphasize this isn't a break from valuing that connection.
Yeah.
Just a pause, maybe?
That seems to be the message. A pause. He even mentioned Ng Chee Meng, didn't he?
Yeah, back in 1980. The first labor chief to be a minister.
So it shows how established this practice is. And Mr. Ng's been leading NTUC since 2018.
Making him the first labor chief in, what, decades?
Mm-hmm.
To not join cabinet straight away?
Pretty much, decades. And PM Wong addressed that head on. He said Mr. Ng himself requested it.
Okay. So it wasn't that he wasn't offered, but he asked not to be.
Correct. That was the explanation given. Mr. Ng apparently wanted to focus.
Focus
on his MP role for Jalan Kayu SMC and his work leading NTUC, sort of doubling down on those responsibilities.
And PM Wong said he respects that.
Yes, respects the decision, but also reiterated, temporary arrangement. He anticipates the labor chief, whether it's Mr. Ng or someone else down the line, being in cabinet when the time is right.
Okay, that's a really key detail. It came from Mr. Ng himself.
It seems so.
Now, let's look at Mr. Ng's side. He put out a statement too, right? May 6th.
He did, yes, May 6th. And he confirmed just that he'd asked PM Wong not to be assigned a government role for now.
And his reasoning.
He basically said his priority for the next 5 years is twofold: serving his Jalan Kayu residents and focusing on Singaporean workers via NTUC.
Sounds like he feels a strong pull towards those specific duties right now.
It does. And you have to remember, this statement came after the 2025 general election.
Where he won Jalan Kayu,
Right.
But it was quite close, wasn't it?
Relatively, yes. 51.47%. Especially when you consider his background. Former cabinet minister, chief of defense. Then losing Sengkang GRC in 2020, and now this closer win.
So maybe that influenced his decision to really, embed himself in the constituency work?
It seems plausible, doesn't it? A desire to really focus on the ground there.
And his statement, it wasn't just about the cabinet role, was it? There was some other context. He addressed some criticisms, too.
That's right. It came amid some public scrutiny. He mentioned that Ministry of Education dialogue from 2017.
The one where there were claims about his reaction to teachers.
Yes. He expressed regret, said he could have handled it better if, his remarks came across as disrespectful. He apologized.
Addressing those online posts directly, though.
Seems like it. And he also addressed the photo.
The one with Soo Hae-jin. The man later convicted of money laundering.
He explained that dinner happened quite some time ago, part of his regular engagement, he said, with different companies, business leaders, through his NTUC work.
And he clarified no further contact after the legal issues surfaced.
Correct. He stated that clearly. And Sam Goy, the tycoon, apparently placed the dinner around 2020.
It's worth noting other ministers were also seen in photos with Soo. Right. Though they also said they didn't know him personally.
Yes, that context was also reported. So Mr. Ng addressed these points in that same statement where he explained his focus on Jalan Kayu and NTUC.
Okay, so wrapping this up a bit, we have a temporary shift, a break in a long tradition, but initiated by Mr. Ng.
And importantly, with PM Wong signaling very clearly that the underlying principle, the government labor movement link, remains important and will be restored formally in cabinet.
It does seem like a confluence of factors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The election result, the recent scrutiny, his stated desire to focus.
All likely playing a part in his decision, and PM Wong's response reaffirms that commitment to working with NTUC.
So the big question this leaves for you, the listener, is probably this. What does this temporary gap mean?
Exactly. How might the direct voice of labor in cabinet decisions be affected, even if just for a while?
Will other channels compensate? How will that relationship between the government and NTUC play out in the coming months?
It's definitely something to keep an eye on as things develop.
Indeed. Well, thank you for joining us on Singapore Property Talk Law for this concise deep dive.
Thanks for having me.